I'd love to end this on one of the most amazing episodes that ever came out of science fiction, as far as I'm concerned. And I know I'm blowing smoke up your butt, but you know what? It's well deserved in this point, because the fifth race is a tour de force for that cast. And it exemplifies, in summary, I think we're going to be all right. You know, what O'Neal says in the end of that. And I often think of that quote and him standing on that ramp saying that I have often thought of that in some of the darker days of this past year and change. We're going to be all right. What was the impetus for fifth race? You laid the bones down with Torment of Tantalus, that there was a group of races that preceded us, that were not the first to start going through this gate. Where did the idea of the fifth race first come from? What was it that sparked it in you? Was it O'Neal babbling an alien language? What was the impetus of that story?
Yeah, I mean, I have a recurring fascination with stories about people losing their minds or losing their identities, and sort of the process of which whether it happens quickly or slowly, whether you're aware of it and what you think about that. I mean, it's another way of looking at mortality, which is something I get a lot of mileage out of. And I love the idea of putting O'Neal in that situation, and then tying it into the four races from Torment of Tantalus. I mean, that was just way too much of a sort of loose thread not to go back to. Again, I mean, I feel like anytime Thor was always a kind of up there in his spaceship God.
Yeah, he's basically God.
He even quite literally was a hologram illusion. Like he was a facade. And so, he was the wizard. And so I just wanted to get to know him and the Asgard better. I wanted to know what was going on with them and how they could fit into the mythology going forward. So, and it really, honestly, the impetus was, from a personal perspective, is I didn't have a great relationship with Rick before that. Like, it wasn't that we didn't get along or whatever. He just saw me as a sort of more junior writer, and I was moving up in the sort of hierarchy of the show, and I had my designs on wanting, with everyone's blessing, on wanting to be a showrunner. And so I felt I needed to overcome that. I needed to connect with him, and so I decided I needed to write an O'Neal centric show, and engage with him in conversation about what the character was going to do and how it was going to go, and essentially take his notes. He frankly used to send his notes through Michael Greenberg, and I rarely had a chance to sort of engage with him about that. So with this script, when it first came out, I went down and sat down in his trailer with him and talked him through. And, that's when I first realized, I thought, frankly, my anticipation of going into that meeting was that he was going to hate acting with the puppet. And because he'd think it was silly. And then, it turned out he absolutely loved it. And so, Rick was nothing if not unpredictable.
And it gave birth to all host of Asgard stories with him, They like me.
So it was, Yeah, it was a lot of fun, that episode. So it gave us an opportunity to kind of, like you said, say some of those big things, right?
Did you think that it would get as much traction as it has gotten over the years, with people regularly calling out in the top 5, top 10?
No.
Did you get that feel when you were in the editing phase of this episode that you had a real gem?
Not really.
Okay.
Honestly, there are episodes where in the making of it, I thought, oh, this is pretty good. And I think the fans are going to like this one. But it was too early at that point still for me to get a sense of what the scope of the fandom was going to be like for the show, never mind for any one episode.
Well, from a mythology standpoint, once Gerwin gets returned from the Beliskner at the end of Thor's chariot, she says, like us, you're still far too young. So, well, we'll never see the Asgard again. And then we give them a reason because we show them just how smart we are with O'Neill. It's like, maybe these are creatures worth paying attention to.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, I was also playing with the idea that O'Neill, and particularly Rick's interpretation of O'Neill, was that he was kind of playing dumb guy. And, and it just seemed funny to me that he turned out to be the smart guy that impressed the godlike alien.
That's exactly right. Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.